Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Hey sister, this is Dr. Karen Osborne. Listen, I'm going to talk to you for 30 seconds before this episode begins about my next Women Wanting More live event. This is 2.5 days of women just like you being pushed physically, mentally, emotionally, getting really clear on what they want, knowing why it matters, and leave with the tools to actually put that into action and being part of a sisterhood. So if this is something that really, really resonates within your heart, sister, I want you to head over to drkarenosborne.com, click on the Work With Me button, and we can start the application process. I look forward to hearing from you. Here's that episode. So I'm going to call this sister today, I'm going to call this episode today, Sister, Wax On, Wax Off. If you have not seen The Karate Kid, you need to go and watch that movie. The original with Ralph Macchio. If you are under the age of 40, you have no fucking idea who he is, but he was a big deal in the world when Rob Lowe was young and the Scott Bayos of the world and Matt Dillon was cool and young and all those S.E. Hinton books that came to movies like The Outsiders and Rumblefish. But enough down memory lane. So here's what wax on, wax off means. So when the Karate Kid, played by, in the original, Ralph Macchio, was being trained by, I think it was Mr. Miyagi, I believe was his name, he was teaching him blocks. And what he did is he made him like wax his car, right? I think that was it. He had to wax his car. But when he was actually having him do those movements over and over again, he was teaching him how to like block, wax on, wax off. So when I say wax on, wax off, what I mean is that you're blocking the shit that comes up in your life. So how does this look? Well, this morning as I was boxing training, and I have ordered boxing shoes online. For some reason, it takes a little while to get to me, but whatever. And in the meantime, you can't box in like other shoes. You can't box in socks. I train at a gym that's kind of more of a, let's just say like an old school kind of gym. There's really not much of any heat in that gym. And so when my trainer Rob gets there early, train with me at 6, he gets there a little bit earlier and starts turning the block heaters. However, the ring that we often will train in, there's kind of like mats in the ring, is metal underneath, okay? So any kind of metal, steel, what have you, is going to conduct temperature, right? Heat or cold. In this case, fucking cold. So I am in bare feet. And, at first, like, whatever, no big deal. I feel a little bit cold. Like, I kind of get warmed up. But your extremities, right? Hands, feet are extremities. It's not really quite like other parts of the body that, like, they get warm fast. They kind of don't. And so, because it's been a little bit cooler in Victoria, it's dropped below 0, which is unusual where I live in Victoria, BC. And by the way, that's Celsius, not Fahrenheit. That like, it's gotten to the point, like, this morning where we're training and Rob has like mitts, so I'm punching mitts and he's giving me like commands on like what to do as far as what punches he wants me to throw or what combinations, and is training me, and we're doing 3-minute rounds, and we stop and we finished one of the rounds and I realized I was having a really hard time hearing it and incorporating in my body what he was asking me to do, because my feet are literally numb. I'm not even that's not an exaggeration. They're numb. I can't really feel them at like my toes and the balls of my feet. And so in between rounds, there's like a heater right up in the ring. And so I'm like taking in between 30-second rest between rounds, and I'm holding my feet near the heater to try to warm up my toes so I can actually just feel them, let alone have them be cold. Literally I can't feel them in parts. And so as I'm doing that, Rob's like, oh, dude, we got to get you your shoes. Like, what the, it'd be so great when you have socks on and shoes. And I said, yeah, but I go, this is good. This is good. Because I realize that this is simply a distraction. And that whether it's with me training right now or life, there's no such thing as perfect conditions. There's no such thing as perfect conditions. See, we're waiting for everything to be aligned before we take action. But the reality is that shit almost never happens. It just doesn't. So whether it's like you're waiting for something to be perfect in your marriage, you're waiting to start some kind of form of fitness until you are, quote, in shape. You are waiting till you have the money before you actually, do something and start a business. You're waiting until, you have the time to spend with your children, and that's when you'll start investing and being a parent, showing up as a mother. You wait until you have this block of time. I'll wait till the kids are older, and then I'll take care of my health. There is no perfect time. You have to learn to wax on, wax off. This morning, it was a big thing to kind of go like, I'm just going to focus on what I need to do, what's in front of me, what Rob has asked me to do in my training, with me being as focused as possible. Because the reality is when I go to fight sometime in 2017, there will most likely be conditions that it just doesn't go down the way that I think it's going to go down. And the only way for me to win that fight, the only way for you to get the things you want within your life, sister, is to be willing to wax on, wax off, is to learn how to adapt. There will always be shit. And here's the piece of this. You might be listening to this, and when resistance has come up in your life, when, the shit flies, that you go, oh, sign from the universe, not supposed to do this. And I'm telling you right now, sister, that is incorrect. Here's what it means. It means, hey, this is the resistance. Do you really want this thing? Can you adapt? And here's the craziest shit. What most of you will never really understand, but I want you to hear this. Usually at the peak of resistance, when we're just on the other side of something incredible, we're just one more step before we break through. We're just one more piece until we get there. But the resistance has come up. It's too hard. It distracts you. You don't want to wax on, wax off. You want to be like me today in my training when we then got to training and put on headgear. We're starting to train out with headgear and we're sparring. I got a mouth guard in because Rob's taking shots at my head, right? And I'm doing the same for him, although he's training for 10 years. He can take hits from me. But when we are now, doing that and I'm feeling tired, and I said to Rob between one of the rounds trying to speak with my mouth guard, and I'm just saying I felt like I gave up. Go, I'm tired. He's like, I know, you got to. I go, yeah, but it was beyond the I'm tired. It was just dude, this is hard. I could feel myself kind of go in and out of that. Rob would maybe land a punch in my head or hit me in the stomach, and I'd just be like, fuck off in my head. Fuck you, I'm coming back, right? I started to not try. Almost. It wasn't the whole time. It's not like I'm standing there with my hands down, my gloves not up, but protecting my head, just hands down, just pummeling me. No, right? But I could feel that. Because I was getting resistance. As we run the stories of Karen, your feet are fucking cold. You're 47 years old. What the hell are you doing here? It's 6 a.m. in the morning. Getting hit. Pushing yourself to this way. To do this. That was some of the resistance that was coming up, right? And then I remembered. I remember what I wanted. And what I want is expansion. What I want is beyond a challenge. What I want is to tap into more of my power. And I know on the other side of this fight is power. I know it. And it scares me. And it makes no logical sense. And the resistance will keep coming up again and again and again and again. Wax on, wax off. And as I would feel myself go into I don't fucking care. I'm just tired, right? Just tired. To remember why you're doing this, Karen. Remember why you're here this early in the morning, not feeling your feet right now. You want this. Go fucking do the work. No matter what. Not just regardless of thoughts, feelings, emotions, and moods, as my coach would teach me, but regardless of what's going on, right? Well, I can't do it because right? Well, I couldn't really do it today because of excuse, reason, lie, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Previous episode, I talked about that most are unwilling to do. Like, if you simply are willing to do what most people are not, you can create the life that you want. You can create it. Like, really, sister. This is not just pie in the sky stuff. This is the way it works. Are you willing to wax on, wax off? Are you willing to keep going regardless of the distractions, the resistance that pokes its ugly head? Saying, I don't know. You sure you want this? It's a test. So here's what I want you to do as your more tip today. There will be, I guarantee, unless you somehow ride unicorns and rainbows shoot out of your ass, there will be some shit that will come down your day today. Guaranteed. Big or small. And how will you choose to see that? Will you retreat? Will you retract? Will you play small? Or will you choose to stand up and just be like, fuck you, resistance, wax on, wax off. Let me just block the stuff that's coming my way as I keep moving forward. So here's your more tip. It's simply this, is just be like, as the shit happens, as the resistance comes up, just to simply be aware of it and to decide to wax on, wax off, right? Decide that I will adapt to this no matter what. And decide that as if there is something that you truly want and you know the deep why as to why you want it, then it's wax on, wax off, sister. How will you decide to see the resistance, to see the distractions, the numb feet, the whatever the shit is going down? How will you choose to see that today? Because see, this small thing, sister, could shift your entire life. Because you potentially are like 1 step, 2 steps, 5 steps away from the thing you want. Don't be like the rest of the world that goes, oh, this is a sign. Bad things come in threes. I'm not ready. It's the holidays. Stand up and claim what you fucking want and do the work, sister. You got this. You got this. So here's what I want you to do next. I want you to head over to drkarenosborne.com/live event. This is my new Women Wanting More live event movie that is playing right now. That is incredible. You're going to see the story of 6 amazing women that spent 2.5 days with me in Victoria, BC at the beautiful Parkside Hotel, downtown Victoria, BC, Canada. And got so clear when I pushed them physically, mentally, emotionally, got so clear on what they wanted, why it mattered, and now left that event. Now, as we record this, about 7 weeks ago, brought that back to their family, their business, their community, themselves, and are now doing the work, now have a plan on how to actually put what they learned into action and get the things that they want. So you're going to go to drkarenosborne.com/live event. You'll enter in your name and your email. That'll give you immediate access to watch the movie. And you're going to see the after the event interviews. There's 5 of them. Right? Actually, pardon me. There's 4 of them. One that actually Leslie just shot a video by herself. And you're going to see like what has been the results afterwards, right? One event is whatever, like at the event, removed from the distractions, removed from the things you have to wax on and wax off, right? Really immersed in that. But you're going to see what's possible after that. 4 to 6 weeks after of how these women's lives have transformed in their marriage, in their business, in their health, with themselves. It's amazing. And it was an honor to lead these 6 women. So guess what? I'm doing it again in January. Okay, so my next live event is coming up soon. There are currently 4 seats left. This is a very, very small, intimate, what I'm now calling the more experience of 2.5 days. Do you want this, sister? Watch the movie. Watch the interviews. If you feel called and feel that you need to be at this next one, then there's going to be a chance for you to click a button when you take a look at the movies and the interviews to apply. Because yes, it's by application, to apply for the next live event. And then we will get on the phone, have a powerful conversation, and really see if this is a fit, to see if I can serve you with what you need and what you want. So I thank you for listening today, sister, and I will talk to you in the next episode. And just remember, a life of more is one step away, not just from waxing on, waxing off, but you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.